I'm thinking about my next book, but on that book I will work a lot. So
I mean, I have a writer and a poetess who's already published a book. Seriously, I mean, you're an inspiration and you're still developing yourself. That's absolutely beautiful. Um,
now you are audible.
Now I am. Okay,
Yes.
great. Uh, Hello. I'm extremely sorry for all that technical issues, but I guess it was some issue from the system or from your or my side. I don't know. But kindly go ahead and tell me a few words about yourself. Not your name, of course. I know it already. Little bit about yourself.
Okay. Okay. So I'm Sakshi Johan and I'm from Gwalior actually. Right now I'm working as a teacher and I love to read books. Not every time, but nowadays I've started a book because I heard a lot that books are so helpful, and when I started to read, so I started taking interest in this. Apart from this, I love to connect with people. Nowadays, as I'm working in English, so that's why. Yeah, that's it. Tell me about yours.
Great. Yes, as you have might seen when you booked me, I am Riza. I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's in English literature. And of course, from my major, it will be very evident to you that I love to read as well as like to do critical analysis. Other than that, I have interest in swimming, badminton, traveling, and also I also teach on this platform. Like you are a teacher, I am also a teacher. Are you a full-time teacher, Sakshi?
Yes, I'm a full-time teacher. I
I
run.
am not a full-time teacher. I am a part-time teacher since I also have to um, balance my studies as well as my work and recreation. Did you go through the notes for today? Are you aware what we are going to discuss?
Yes, I've checked out, but roughly.
Anyways, if you haven't watched films, what kind of books do you read?
Okay. So books that could be helpful for improving our ability or that can teach us how is it life like nowadays. I'm reading a book that is Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy and Think Like a Monk by Desh books. So, and some spiritual related content. Before this book, I have read one book that is Path to Spirituality. So in that book, it was described that how can we follow our religion, what is the actual religion, because religion is not something; it's just all about humanity. So that kind of stuff.
I'm extremely sorry. Yeah, extremely sorry. So what you like to read, from what I can understand from your the titles you've mentioned, the self-help books, the books which help with your personality development and growth. So while you are actually telling me about your you know kind of the books that you read. Okay. You're currently reading The Power of the Subconscious Mind. How are you like finding it? I have read a few pages of it, but then I lost kind of the interest into reading the book because, I already read a lot of novels every day. And reading is a part of my daily life since I am a English literature major. So few minutes into the pages and I lost my concentration. So how are you finding it? What will I find helpful from the book, do you feel?
So when I started to read this book, mostly I prefer to read offline books. I mean hard copies. Sorry, but hard copy it's not possible to buy each and every book, and it's not easily available as well in a market. So, but online each and every books are available. So I had started that book in online in PDF format. Then I had started to take interest. Then I just want to buy that book. And when I started to read one or two pages, it was so interesting. It seems me so interesting, and some points was highlight how subconscious mind is working, what the role of conscious mind. So there was so many things was so interesting, and that can relate. that we can relate with our life. So, and I'm taking so much interest in reading this book. Okay, about you, what, as you mentioned, you read novels, right? So what kind of you like?
I read different genres of books. I read diverse genres. For example, that you mentioned, Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I have read a lot of self-help books as well, like Ikigai or Wabi Sabi or Zen, which is the kind of the classic Japanese way of living and finding a purpose in your life or self development. Other than that, I've read classics such as Jane Austen, Charles Dickens, and what else? There are a lot of authors. These are classics, and then across the romantic genre, Chetan Bhagat, everybody has read, I'm assuming. And I mean, after I read Chetan Bhagat and I then went on to do my bachelor's in English literature, I was like, no, this is not something I should be reading as an English literature major. But anyways, his writing style is also very good. Yeah, that's it about me. I like to read the classics. Books which are old catch my attention a lot, which have a historical value to it. Um, and of course, Indian authors also I like reading. What kind of, like, apart from self-help books, what kind of books or what kind of reading do you do? That can include magazines and newspapers as well.
Yeah. So apart from these self-help books, most of the time I read this book in English. But I like Hindi book as well. Because apart from this, I write also in Hindi, like poetries and stories. So, uh,
Wow,
writers, yes, I read Hindi books as well. No, in
that's
Hindi.
extremely good. Like, you are a teacher of Hindi, or you're a teacher of some other subject?
No, no. In my coaching, I take classes for all subjects, but I'm
Okay.
yeah, like for school students. For
Your voice is cracking in the middle.
okay, okay, no problem. My coaching taking classes each and every subject, like all subjects. And I'm also taking online class for school students, specifically. And apart from this, I like some Hindi. In Hindi, so many writers. You can say Kabir and Rahim, Dev, or so I like to read it as well as I write. I like to read as well as I write also.
Okay, so you write also. So you basically write poetry. Till that time, suggest me a few, writers and authors in Hindi, because I seem to be, matlab, I'm a little bit reading and writing. I can speak Hindi very fluently, of course, but reading and writing is not my forte. I lack there. Yeah, sorry. I am living in a chaotic environment right now, so there might be disturbances from outside. I'm extremely sorry for that. Um, Books we have mentioned, you talked about self-help books, you talked about Hindi literature. So have you ever tried reading any other storybook other than self-help, or did you just recently start reading?
I read story, but very
Sakshi, come closer to your mic so that I can hear you properly. Come closer to your mic.
okay. My voice is not clear, or should I speak loud?
Yeah, speak loudly. Come closer to your mic and speak loudly.
Okay, fine. So storybook, I've not read so much. Rarely, I think I have read one or two. So that's I don't remember. Yeah, because earlier I used to read only most of the time Hindi books. As I already mentioned, I like poetry and poems. This Hindi stuff, whatever. So
So the poems you write and compose, have you ever thought of getting them published? Do you have that kind of an aspiration in mind that I want to become a poetess or a writer?
yes, yes, I
You
performed.
you you have
Yeah,
that, you've performed it. Publish, you've never thought of publishing it in the form of a book so that other people can also read it, maybe.
published one book yet, but I have not so much work on that book. So yeah, it's not, it's very very simple cover, so very simple book. So that's why I'm not do so much promotion. But I'm thinking about my next book. But on that book, I will work a lot so that it could be more interesting. So and my one solo book, and apart from that, I have done so many anthologies. You know about that? I hope you must know.
Yeah, yeah, anthologies, yeah, of course. I mean, I have a writer and a poetess who's already published a book. Seriously, I mean, you're an inspiration and you're still developing yourself. That's absolutely beautiful. Um, but since our topic for the day was films, coming back to, pulling you back towards the topic, have you ever, there are books which have been adapted into films. There are films are rarely adapted into books, but books are adapted into films. Have you ever come across something like that where a book is adapted into a film? You've read the book or you've watched the film, you know, somehow you've come across it. नहीं ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ. So I would like to recommend I would like to recommend to you that as much as books are a part of our daily life, it is important to read books. Sometimes films also are important to watch. Why especially why I suggest my students to watch films other than reading books as well, because when you listen and when you hear, when you listen and when you see, the audiovisual material which you get to see in the films, which you get to experience in the films, it retains in your brain faster, so that you can understand, you can learn the language better. Right. There are a few suggestions in my mind. You can read the book as well as you can find the film online easily. It is Life of Pi. I don't know whether you've heard of it or not.
Yes,
Life of Pi by Jan Martel. Have you heard of it? Yeah. So that book and that the film is also available online, and it uses basic language. It uses basic English, which is Indian English. You can understand properly. With the subtitles, you can watch it. It's extremely beautiful and very expressive, I believe. And another, one of my classic favorites, which you can watch if you said you do not really watch films. So this can get you started into the world of films if you want. It's not in Indian English, but it's a British production. It's called The Sound of Music. That is also a very beautiful film. Sound of Music, I would say, is one of my inspirations for pursuing my degree, my bachelor's in English literature, and Life of Pi by Jan Martin. Both of them are beautiful movies you can come across. Um, Anyways, we're almost towards the end of our session. I would like to hear a little bit about you as a teacher and how you maintain a work life balance every day, because that is clearly something I need to learn.
earlier was actually nowadays I have done my master, so I don't have study pressure. I just nowadays I have my master, so I don't have study pressure. I just have to manage my work. But when I was doing my master, so that time also I was teaching. So that time it was quite hard to manage because I used to go to my college and my school also. I was teaching in a school, and my coaching classes also I was taking. But nowadays I don't find any difficulty. I just manage everything, and I can take my class. I'm also giving time, spending time on my English. So yeah.
So you have good time management skills. You are a master student, yet there is a little bit of pressure for your degree to be completed, and yet you teach also. You have good time management skills. Okay, coming to your feedback for today, from what I saw how you were speaking. Sakshi, you're very fluent in your speech. I know that there is an air of confidence to your voice when you're speaking. I like that. Besides that, your pronunciation skills are absolutely on point. It, of course, we are learning Indian English over here rather than American or British English before that. So your pronunciation skills are very good. Thank you so much, Sakshi, for joining today. It was incredible to meet you, an author and a poetess. I am absolutely delighted to have this session with you. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.